Hey guys, and welcome to Pheas Software. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing on the SPECNA ARMS SAJ05. Hey guys, and welcome back. If you do enjoy this content today, please do consider liking, commenting and subscribing, because those interactions help me get seen by the YouTube algorithms and help the channel grow. You want to support the channel a little bit more, use the link down below to head to my socials, including my Discord, come and say hello. And if you want to support the channel even more, channel memberships is enabled on the join button down below, may not appear on some Apple devices. That's channel memberships, 99p a month, totally optional, really appreciated, custom content, bloopers, your own giveaways, all that kind of thing, and a private chat area in my Discord as well. Massively appreciated if you do that. So, massive shout out to my good friend Louis then for letting me unbox this SPECNA ARMS Edge that he's picked up. And this is specifically one of the AK models, the J05 Edge model with the Aster built into it. So the box then, fairly nice box actually. I'm quite impressed. Obviously a big sticker on for the Aster there, various bits of information, mostly about the sort of the 4 S's of SPECNA ARMS, and some model versions underneath as well. A Ryan gearbox inside. So let's get this open and have a look. I'm going to flip this around actually. I'm quite excited because I've not had a SPECNA AK before, so I'm quite excited to see what the build quality is like. So we've got a link to an online user manual, some basic safety on the back, some nice stickers. I do like some stickers. Get those out of the way. We've got a little catalogue as well. Let's have a quick flick through that. I'm sorry. It's one of those fold outy postery ones, so I'm not folding that out. But we've got a bit of a manual in there. Get rid of that. We've got our foam protecting it, and there she is, the AK herself. So just having a quick look around in the box, and we've got a little adapter in case you want to go to mini Tamiya instead of Dean's. Why you would want to do that, I don't know. We've got not one but 2 of their mags in there, and I'll check these during the shooting chrono test, and I'll make sure that I check. I think I've got a SEMA mid-cap knocking about that I can use as well to try it. And then there she is. I don't think, oh no, there is an unjamming rod down the back there. So let's let this out and have a look. So there she is. I'm not gonna lie, that is a hell of a piece of kit. There is some real sort of heft and weight to that. You know, you really notice and know that you are carrying that sort of weight. Now I do like, not gonna lie, I do like the versions, the AKs with the AR stock, because I feel that they just sit a little bit more comfortable for my arm preference in terms of how tight to me I feel that they are. So I just prefer the AR stocks and the way that they sit into my shoulder. I just feel a little bit tighter getting that in there, and I like feeling that sort of from the pistol grip to the back of the stock, it's really tight into my shoulder. So let's have a look through it from sort of the muzzle to the stock and talk about it. So we've got a lovely metal muzzle brake, which sometimes in AKs we see these being a touch wobbly because of the pin. There is maybe the tiniest bit of movement because of the pin, but it's not loose, it's not wobbly, it's not rattly, it is solid in there. Really happy with that. Got our gas rod underneath. We've got a front sight post, metal with adjustable post in there as well, so you can twist this to adjust it up and down. Moving back, we've got plastic metal front assembly, all absolutely solid. There's odd little bits of movement more from the plastic, as you can hear that. You know, even the real one has polymer handguard. It's a little bit of flex in there, but nothing too serious. A little bit of flex in the lower as well, but nothing that, you know, I wouldn't expect that this would break. You would have to have some pretty Herculean strength to crush that and grip that tight enough to make it break. You know, it's a typical airsofter. You might get a little bit of creaking if you grab in and you're sort of quite a tense firefight, but that's literally, it's going to sort of keep going and be quite happy for that. Coming back to the rear sight then, I've got the rear sight that just adjusts. You move the slider to adjust that. Then we've got our metal receiver stamped SA underneath with a little, I'm guessing, serial number sticker under there. Got another serial number under the trigger guard there. It is, you know, solid. It is rock solid. There's no, other than the handguards moving a bit, there's no movement front end to back end. It is solid. Pistol grip is bog standard AK pistol grip, nice and comfortable. Plenty of room on there for gloves or not gloves. Ever so slightly rounded trigger guard. Just be careful with that on your fingers. It is, if you've got bare fingers, it's probably going to rub and cause you some wear and tear on your fingers. Most people play with gloves, so just to consider about. We have got, pull that back, a metal hop unit, traditional AK slider style hop unit. Take the metal top cover off. Underneath there then we can see the gearbox. We've got some Dean's wiring. It is wired to the top cover then and not into the stock. And the charging handle, it's not mega satisfying. Well, there's not many things unless you go into GBBR that on an AEG where the charging handle is going to be as satisfying as an M14 AEG charging handle. And then coming into the stock then, we've got a fairly big, thick, chunky, solid stock adapter there to get the AR stock on. So let's extend that out and lift that up and get that off. So it is a 6-position stock tube that is in there as well, for those of you want to know. So it is actually really solid. It's some really good weight, a good couple of kilograms of weight in there. I did completely forget to mention the side mount. It is a traditional AK side mount, so if you've got a scope that's pre-side mounted, or you've got a side mount that gives you a rail on top, that will go on there without any issues. It will not cause you any problems at all. It will just slide on there and lock in place. Unfortunately, I don't actually physically own one, considering that I do like AKs. I don't actually own a side mount to even test on it, unfortunately. The mags then, both empty. Now, that went in and it locked in. I can see that it locked in, but I'm quite used to there being a bit of a click, and although, you know, tactically the click is not always a good thing, that goes in really quietly, almost disconcertingly quietly. I mean, it's a bit of a clutching at straws negative really there so far, but that's unusually quiet, and you don't really see that it's locked in. But the mag releases nice, it sits in there nicely. So we'll test the feeding in a second. So we're going to go and do the usual chrono, range and rate of fire test, and I'll be back in a second. 0.2s. So minimum 3.9, maximum 8.1, so about 5 FPS, so just over 5 FPS variance. Pretty good. $13 rounds a second. Wow. That 21, just short of 22 rounds a second. So I'm back then from the rate of fire and chrono test then. So we'll start with range. Easy sort of 50 plus meters. I am hoping eventually to get a proper range where I can do properly, you know, sort of 10 meter segments and things. But I know from checking it, pasting it, measuring it electronically, I know that the tree line that I'm shooting towards is just over 50 meters out, and I am hitting those trees with ease. So I can safely say it's hitting out to 50 plus meters. A little bit of a spread at the end of the BBs, but we often see this anyway. This is not a terrible thing. It's just something that happens sometimes. So just something to be aware of, that it's getting to 50 meters entirely accurately, you know, sort of maybe a little bit wider than an A4 piece of paper target size. You might not hit every shot on that target size. So just to think about that. Rate of fire then on a 7.4, we're getting about 13.5 rounds a second, which is pretty damn respectable. It's pretty nice. The microphone doesn't always pick it up well and makes it sound worse, but the gearbox sounds really smooth turning over. It sounds like there has been a good job of adjusting and shimming within that gearbox, which will be interesting to see if I've got the option of a disassembly video. And then an 11.1 then, it really came to life. We were getting sort of 21, nearly 22 rounds a second out of it, and it was, you know, like, whoo, it was quite exciting to hit that. So fairly respectable. In terms of chrono then, this is obviously for the UK markets, so it is set to UK FPS limits, so it's doing 333 to 338 FPS, about 5 FPS variance, with an average of about 335. You set the hop, you're probably looking at about 330 FPS, maybe just over 330 FPS. So pretty good, steady, you know, a good sort of tight groupings of FPS variances as well. I probably expect that to close down a little bit and get a little bit tighter as the spring beds in and everything settles into being operated and things like that. So really happy so far with that. In terms of mags then, I have got a SPECNA 140, 150 round mid cap there. I did put this in and it clicked in and fed perfectly. Again, no real sort of click like you get with some AKs when that mag goes in, but it did feed. It fed everything, including the last round as well, which I was happy about. So I was really happy that it would take that. I couldn't find my high cap to test in it, but that SPECNA mid cap fed perfectly in that as well. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to discuss batteries briefly, and then we'll do the gloved operation. So I've brought a variety of little batteries here. I did show you earlier that it is wired to the top cover. So that does mean that we are a little bit stuck for certain options. So the first one I've got there is a 7.4 ultra long stick type. I'll show you that there. There we go. So I'm just going to slide that down in there. Now the battery compartment will go basically all the way down here, down this into this handguard. So you have got a lot of room for quite a you know, a long battery. So that went in quite nicely. Now what I'm hoping I can get is this 1200. This is an 11.1 in the exact same form factor, a little bit thicker because it's an 11.1, but will that go down in there? Let's see if there's an angle. Now I have technically got room. It's a little bit stiff. It gets smaller somewhere further down, somewhere around here. The gap is a little bit smaller, so that's not going in quite as easily. However, even at that, I can, with a little bit careful placement, I can get those wires under that top cover and still operate it with that battery in if needs be. What I've got is I've got an 1100 11.1 that's obviously even more compact. Now that won't actually go down there at all, it's too thick, but in theory, pretty sure famous last words, I do think I can possibly get that in there. Bear with me, let's plug it in properly. I was right, it will go under there, so it will fit under that top cover, and the charging handle will still move. It's a little bit stiff, so it's obviously rubbing, so just be careful if you are going to do it. It's just rubbing on here, so just be careful, but it does go under that top cover. The other one I've got is the 7.4, which I use for the chrono testing. That will not go in side by side like that, but I can in theory chuck one cell right down there. I've got the other cell, I can sit along the top, and I could plug the battery in like that and put the top cover on. So I could even in theory use that thin 7.4 nunchuck type battery within that. So a little bit of a fiddle, but it's just something to think about when you get into something like this. If it is top wired, you are going to need something sort of specific in terms of battery to go under that top cover. So just clear those out of the way. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'll leave that one for now. Okay, so loved operation then, girls and boys. Thank you to the guys on my Discord for suggesting this to me, and I'm always happy to take on criticism if I think it's going to improve the quality of my video. So, operation then of this with gloves on. I can very easily do the charging handle. I can very easily visually see. I don't so much have the sort of feel of changing the hop, but I can see that I am changing the hop, so that's quite easy to do. The selector is more than easy to do. The trigger, absolutely more than easy to do and get to. I'm quite happy with that. In terms of the mag, I can quite easily do that. Even the stock adjustment, I can get and do that. And changing the battery then, provided that I've got one that isn't, you know, conveniently easy to fit like this one, this is going to be quite an easy battery to change. You know, even mid firefight, I would be able to do that, and then get back to putting some rounds down range. Put that down, clear this out. So, based on my unboxing, from what I've seen, it's a pretty damn good package actually. The fact that there's two mags in there, you've got a Gate Aster in there as well, which is a decent chip from Gate, who produce the Titan and things like that. It's a pretty good package all around. It feels really solid. It's shot really nice. The rate of fire is good. You know, I can't really knock and slate this as a build particularly. It's been pretty damn good. I prefer the AR style stocks on these, just because I feel that they sit a little bit closer, but I have got a special place in my heart, particularly for wood kit based ones, or even sometimes just the traditional AK stock with the side folding traditional stock. There's just something about them that's just a little bit nice. This I have liked so far. Hopefully I've got the option for a disassembly, and if I have, that will be the next video up next week. So hope you enjoyed that. I will leave the usual photos. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.